Imagine carrying a dream in your heart for years. You love to sing, you write songs in your head, you perform whenever you can. But life gets busy, responsibilities pile up, and somewhere along the way you begin to wonder, did I miss my moment? What if your greatest chapter isn't behind you? What if it's still waiting for you? Today's guest is living proof that dreams don't expire. From singing in the Vassar College Choir to sharing stages with legends like Patti LaBelle, Kirk Franklin, Kirk Whalum, and Rufus Reid, Barbara King has spent her life using music to uplift and inspire. Her acclaimed debut album, Perfect Timing, earned Grammy consideration and has taken her around the world, from Greece and Japan to Dubai and Cuba's Havana International Jazz Festival. She's performed at iconic venues like Birdland, Minton's, Tavern on the Green, and the legendary Lenox Lounge in Harlem. She's been compared to the incomparable Sarah Vaughan, yet critics say she has a style entirely her own. Today we're talking about jazz, faith, reinvention, and why your perfect timing may be right now. Please welcome the incredibly talented Barbara King.
Thank you so much.
So you grew up in Brooklyn. What role did music play in your childhood?
Early on, I remember being involved in talent shows and school plays. And my grandfather, whom I never met, my mother's father, was a musician. And my grandmother talked about him all the time. She had a piano in the house. She wanted to make sure that we were surrounded by music, and we were. But, I was in all the school plays, West Side Story, Porgy and Bess. We did the talent shows. I had a girl group back when I was in middle school called Barbara and the Blossoms, which we later changed the name to the Fawns, and we performed all over the city. And so music's always been a part of my life.
Fun. So did you perform? What happened after? You went to Vassar College?
Yeah.
And you performed there?
Yeah. So when I got to Vassar, I joined the choir.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to stay involved because I sang in the choir in college, in high school. And I performed, as I said, in junior high school. So when I got to Vassar, I heard they had this choir, so I auditioned, and I got in. And so that was a great experience because I got a chance to meet people from all over the country, and the choir traveled across the country as well to perform. So, and then I met this wonderful woman from New Orleans while I was her name is Grisela Alejandro. She had an amazing voice, and she and I did a lot of performing together across the campus. And she really helped me kind of expand my singing in jazz.
Did you take voice lessons when you were a child? Or
I actually didn't start, because I was always singing, but I didn't start formal lessons until after I graduated.
So you were just naturally gifted?
I just always knew how to sing. But the lessons I took were great in that they gave me a strong foundation in classical training, and also helped to expand my range and taught me a little bit more about control and how to use my voice more effectively. So that was very, very, very good.
Was there a specific moment when you realized, I don't just love music, I need it in my life?
Gosh, that's a good question. Probably when I went to Brooklyn Music School, that was after I graduated from Vassar. I met my teacher there was Roland Washington, who was an awesome teacher. And as a vocal coach and teacher, he taught me so much about how to use my voice, how to better read music. Because I used to play clarinet, so I read music, but reading music, playing an instrument, and vocally, two different things. So I always knew I wanted to sing, and it just always was a part of me. No matter what I did, even when I took a job teaching, I would always still sing. If I took a job counseling, which I did, I would always continue to sing. So I always found a way to keep music in my life. And so it was I was never separated from it at any point. But I learned to appreciate my voice and what I felt I had this natural gift that I wanted to use.
Have you always wanted to sing jazz?
No, I didn't. I actually was singing R&B and pop music, but I always grew up around jazz. My father had this amazing collection of jazz, so I grew up listening to all the greats. Dinah Washington, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Gloria Lynn. I grew up listening to all of these wonderful vocalists. So when I got to college, and as I mentioned, I met Grisella, who we call affectionately Gray. She and I started doing jazz together because she was very much involved with jazz, more so than I was performing. And that's really, I think, at that point, everything I listened to growing up, it all just came together, and
Yeah.
she and I just had this great connection, and jazz just, I decided then that's what I wanted to do.
How do you feel those years at Vassar College shaped you personally and professionally?
Well, I got to Vassar, I was so young. I was only 16. And
Oh, you
so,
were young.
yeah.
Wow.
Um, so I had to grow up pretty fast. I trust me, I wanted to get out of my house. So I wanted to go away to school. I always wanted to go away to college. My parents were super, super strict. So
Are you from New York too?
I was born and raised in New York.
Okay.
My family is from the Caribbean. My
Oh,
family is
okay.
Cuban, Jamaican. So they were very, very strict. And I thought, well, if I can get out of the house, I can spread my wings a little bit, have a little more freedom. So I always wanted to go away to school. But Vassar was a learning experience for me. I met people from all over the country. I was kind of forced to develop more confidence in myself because, again, I was so young. But I also knew that not everybody gets into an Ivy League school. You have to come with something. But there were times when I felt my confidence was a little shaken because we were challenged, and there weren't that many Black students at the school, many students of color at all, But I remember this one woman I met there, and she said to me, because I was thinking, did I make the right choice coming here? Maybe I should have stayed, in New York, closer to home. And she said, Barbara, don't ever let anybody make you feel like you don't belong here. She said, you had what it took to get here, and you have what it takes to complete your time here. And she was right, but I needed to hear that from somebody,
Yeah.
to give me that boost of confidence.
Sometimes it just takes that one person,
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Mhm.
It's amazing. Did you ever have periods where you questioned whether pursuing music was realistic? More than one?
Yes. Well, for one, my parents didn't see music as a viable career. They
Yeah.
wanted me to be a teacher or, maybe a nurse or some other professional in publishing or something like that. And I actually was teaching for a while. I did pursue that. But so I knew that it wasn't going to be easy because, there are, especially in New York, there are tons and tons of musicians and vocalists. And I wondered whether I had what it took to make it. But the feedback I get or continue to get or got then, it just let me know that I did have something, it was
Yeah.
worth pursuing.
Yeah, that's great. And
Yeah.
you said after you graduated from Vassar College,
Mhm.
you went on to Brooklyn
Music
Music
school.
School
Mhm.
and worked as a vocal coach.
No, I
Worked
studied
with a vocal
with a vocal.
coach.
Mhm.
Okay. What gave you the confidence to invest in yourself then?
Well, I
Because you were still
remember,
young,
yeah, I
19,
I was
20,
20, yeah.
20 at
Mhm.
that point?
I remember the first day I walked in and he asked me to sing something. So I picked a song. It was a song by Anita Baker, who I always loved her voice. And when I was finished, he said to me, "You've come to me just in time."
Oh,
I'll
that's
never forget that.
all I needed was his help. That's
Yeah.
funny. So the title of your debut album is Perfect Timing.
Mhm.
What does that phrase mean to you personally?
For me, it means that everything happens in its perfect time. And Ecclesiastes 3:1, where it says there's a time, it's time for every season. I just felt that despite all the things that happened prior to that this was the right time for this project. I had an amazing musical director, Rob Robinson, who helped me pull it together. Everything I'd learned up until that point, it was just all fitting together. So that's why I came up with the title Perfect Timing, because, we want things to happen in our time,
Mhm.
but it's not really up to us.
When did that album debut?
Oh, that was 2009, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping to still do that because I'm no longer with the label that I was with folded.
Yeah.
So it's about really now figuring out, how to do this.
How to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What would you say to someone who feels they've waited too long to pursue their dream?
Never give up on yourself. if you believe in yourself and also surround yourself with people who believe in you. My husband has always believed in me. He's always been my biggest fan, next to my parents, I guess,
Oh,
Um, but he's always believed in me and felt that I needed to believe more myself. So I even wrote in the liner notes in my CD, I wrote, "Thank you for believing in me even when I wasn't sure myself."
mm.
So I would say, don't give up. If you have a gift, a talent, if you have a desire, if you have a dream, if you have a passion, to pursue it.
How many years have you been married?
42? Is it 42?
All right, I have to
Yeah.
ask because I'm sure my listeners want to know too. What's the secret to a long, successful marriage?
I think a solid friendship,
I like
and
that.
trust.
Friendship and
Just,
trust.
hmm yeah.
Yeah.
He's my best friend, and I trust him implicitly.
Oh, I love that.
Mhm.
What did you learn from sharing space with greatness like Patti LaBelle and Kirk
Oh my
Franklin?
goodness.
You can't even imagine. Did you get to meet her?
Yes.
Okay.
I I I just watching them work, watching them how they approach the material, how they interact with the audience, how they interacted with us, because we were background singers, and the fact that they don't take any of that for granted, everyone is important. So even though you may not be the lead singer, you may be the background singer, your role still matters, So
So she wasn't a diva?
no, not at all.
Oh, that's
Not at all.
fantastic. That's good to
She was
hear.
fun. She was
She
fun.
was fun?
Yeah.
All right, we're back with Barbara King. And question was there one career moment when you thought, wow, this is really happening?
I guess the thing that comes to mind is my trip to Cuba. I always wanted to go. Both of my parents were born there, and I always dreamed of going. But to go there and not just have an opportunity to meet family, but to perform during the Havana International Jazz Festival, that's just an incredible experience, and to meet the musicians that I didn't even know them. We met the club owner who I gave them my CD. The woman who coordinated the trip introduced us, said, he would consider hiring me to perform while we were there. And I met the musicians the same day. The the incredible level of talent that exists there is just beyond description. And it was an awesome night. And it was just fantastic. So to go back to Cuba to meet family, to perform during this amazing festival it's incredible.
Pinched yourself, huh?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Why do you think music has the power to heal us?
I always say music is the universal language because whether you speak the same language as the other person, it doesn't matter. Music has a way of transcending that and it touches people's soul. And, I've had so many people say to me, Barbara, you really touched me, or your music really, it took me back, or it healed me, or it made me feel a certain way. I just think music has a way of communicating just through the melodies and the sounds and the instruments and the voice, which is an instrument.
I agree with you so wholeheartedly because I am a huge fan of Andrea Bocelli and Pavarotti, and I have no idea what they're saying, but their voices and the tone of their voice, and I, it brings me to tears.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what they're, I don't know the language.
You don't need to know
No,
because
I agree.
they're able to communicate the feeling
Right.
through the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same with opera. I am a
Mhm.
big fan of opera too. And you go and when you see this show, you're so moved by it's like the music is bringing whatever's happening on stage to life.
life,
Even if you
exactly.
don't know what the music is saying, you can figure it out, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I agree. That's amazing. When you're singing, what do you hope your audience feels?
Well, for me, it's more than entertaining. It's not about. I mean, entertainment is part of it, yes, but I want people to feel something. I want them to transport them somewhere. I remember this woman said to me that her husband had passed away recently. She said, "But this music, it's so healing for me. It just makes me calm and comfortable and feel good." So that's what I want. I want people to walk away with something, that somehow this performance helped them in some way or touched them in some way. And that's what I look for.
That's beautiful. How do you honor legends like Sarah Vaughan while staying true to your own voice?
When I listen to Sarah or Ella or Billy, I listen to how they interpret a song, how they inject their particular style into it. And that's what I want to do. I want to put my style to the music. I don't want to copy someone else. I don't want to mimic what someone else is doing. I want to, I joke around. I say, I want to barbarize it, so I want to make it mine. So, whether it's an original tune that I've written or another person's music I'm interpreting, I want to put my stamp on it.
Are you going to sing for us before I'm done?
I planned on it.
Okay, well, think about it.
Okay.
Think about it, because I'd love to. Do you write a lot of your own music?
I write. I haven't been writing as much as I'd like to, but yeah, I've written the CD has four original tunes on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I have a niece who's also a songwriter and singer, and she's in her 20s and trying to get started in Nashville. So it's been interesting watching her journey as well. I guess it's not very safe out there because her parents keep a close eye on her. That industry can be a little challenging,
tricky.
right? Yeah, for young women especially. Have there been moments in your own life when music carried you through difficult seasons?
Absolutely. My father introduced me to jazz, and we now have his collection of music, which is extensive, collection of just things you'll never be able to find anywhere. And when he passed, it was very hard for me because I don't think without him I would have pursued jazz because I didn't, I grew up listening, like I said, pop and R&B music, but he laid that foundation for me. So, and I remember when I was working on the CD and I was talking to him about it and how difficult it is to get a project off the ground, and he said, the closer you get, the tougher it's going to get, So, so I wrote a song for him that's on the CD, and to me, that's my way of honoring him and keeping his memory alive. So, yeah, music helped get me through that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Who did you like when you were younger? You said you liked pop and R&B. Who was before you got into jazz?
Jackson 5. Let's see, what else did I listen to? I listened to a lot of dance music because I love to dance. So I'm trying to think of some of the.
I know. What were the shows back in the day? Remember the show that used to be on, what was it, Saturday mornings?
Soul Train?
Soul Train, but
And
then there was another one too. There were a couple of them, and they were just dancing remember?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the name of that.
It was the 70s, I think. It was a long time ago. I don't remember either, so don't feel bad.
It was a Dick Clark show?
Dick Clark show? Maybe it was a Dick Clark show. Yeah, I think it might have been. They all dance, and they were all on there playing the...
Yeah, American Bandstand. Was that it?
American Bandstand. Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of, because they had the Beatles come on one time, remember?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's showing our age. Young girls listening to this, you probably are like, the Beatles? Look it up, because you should know. Oh gosh, where does your sense of hope come from?
Ooh, faith is a big part of my life. I grew up in the church, and it's just always laid a foundation for me to have a sense of hope and believing that things will get better. Not to think on negative things, but to think on positive things. And that's from Philippians also, where it talks about think on these things that are good, that are pleasant. So to keep focused on those things and not allow yourself to be pulled down by negativity.
Was there a time in your life where you struggled, or you've had to struggle being positive and overcoming negativity? Or have you always been able to be a really positive, optimistic person?
No, there have been some challenging times. When my husband and I were struggling financially for many, many years and wondering, how are we going to get out of this hole? I mean, but there were always signs and things that would happen to show us that the story wasn't over yet. So yeah, there were some difficult times, but again, there were always things that would happen, that ray of light, that ray of hope that would show you that just keep keep on keeping on, and things will get better.
So, what would you tell our listeners right now that might be listening, going through a challenging time? How would you tell them to get through that?
Well, darkness always comes before the dawn. And to know that how, regardless of how difficult things may be, that it won't stay that way. It's going to be tough and it'll be challenging. But I think through those times, we find that we have a strength that we maybe didn't even know we had. And that inner strength will carry through.
Do you feel like God tests us for a reason?
Yeah.
What's the reason? What do you think?
I think that to test our faith,
To test our
to
faith,
see
yeah.
that, let us know that, even if you're being challenged, are you going to trust? Are you going to trust him and know that he'll pull you through?
Yeah.
And I think that's a challenge for us, in many situations.
Well, and I think in our society, we want everything to happen on our own timing, right?
Mhm.
And we want things now.
Right.
We're used to having immediate access
That
to
instant gratification. Yeah.
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 And that's why perfect timing to me was, well, yeah, we want things to happen in our time. And that's what the song says, everything has a season, everything has its time, everything has a reason. Just wait and you'll find, so yeah.
That was my next question. Do you believe our lives unfold according to a certain timing? That's so funny. He's like, you're right. She already answered it. Looking back, can you see moments that prepared you for something greater?
Hmm. How has that prepared me for something greater? Well, I do think that my time at Vassar prepared me because it challenged me on many occasions. It pushed me to out of my comfort zone. And I think that, and also being there so young, to be in that environment far away from home for the first time, being 16 and, but having a support system. And that made all the difference to help me through the times when it was difficult, but it prepared me. And I feel like, I'm good for whatever, I'm set up, prepared, and ready to go.
And you can do it, right? What has music taught you about resilience?
I think that even when you're up against something that seems difficult, not to shy away from a challenge, but to face it and try to find a way through it. Because, life is going to be full of challenges. And, I can remember as a kid, my brother and I used to play handball together. And so we go from in New York, I don't know if they do this anyplace else, but you can go challenge someone on the court. So you have to have your own ball, and you come and you challenge. And if you win, then the court's yours. And so I would do that with my brother. We go out and we would go to a court we wanted to play. If the court was busy, we'd have to challenge. And if we won, oftentimes we did, the court was ours. So, face the challenge and you never know what it's going to be like until you try.
I love that story. That's a great story. So tell me about the path that led you to get onto these big stages.
A lot of it had to do with networking and meeting people. I met some great folks along the way. When we lived in Brooklyn, I met extremely talented sax player, Craig Bailey, who had toured for many years with the Ray Charles Orchestra. And we became friends. Through him, I met a number of other musicians. And I went on tour with him to Greece. And it's funny how the music world it's big, but it's also small because you tend to meet people who know other people that you know. And the next thing you know, they're introducing you to someone else. And I was able to make a number of connections that helped me to get gigs overseas. And so after doing Greece, I went to Estonia and Lithuania and then to Dubai. And doors just started opening up. But it's really about networking and meeting people and also, having a talent that they have confidence in and are willing to work with you to book you other places.
Right.
So that helped a lot.
If you could sing with anyone, dead or alive, who would that be?
That's easy. Sarah Vaughan.
Oh, that's easy. Okay.
Yeah, she's my idol. I love her voice. I love her phrasing. I love the fact that she could sing opera. She could sing pop. She could sing jazz. She could do it all,
Yeah.
So, yeah. If I could do a duet with Sarah. That'd be great.
Is there anybody else that you can think of that you're?
Well, I've always wanted to work with a big band, and I actually had an opportunity to do that a few times with the Brooklyn Big Band,
Yeah.
working on something like that here in Sarasota. But the Count Basie Big Band would be awesome. That
Yeah,
would be awesome.
that would be amazing. What message would you leave listeners about pursuing their dreams?
Have a plan, have a dream, but also have a plan.
Okay.
So, how are you going to make that come to fruition? What steps can you take to get there? Because I think that's important too.
Did you have other careers besides singing?
Yes, I did.
I think you mentioned teaching.
Yeah, I also have a degree in education and in counseling.
Okay.
So I was teaching. I also did counseling for adolescents and young adults,
Nice.
and worked to help young people who were having difficulty in school get back into the school environment and succeed through outside supports and counseling and things like that.
So you're in Sarasota now. You guys have been here for a couple of years. Are you performing locally?
Yes, I've been very involved with the Sarasota Jazz Club,
Okay.
and that's been great since I've been here. Through that and some contacts I've made, I've had a number of performances at the Florida Studio Theater. I've been part of the Sarasota Jazz Festival the past 2 years.
Okay.
I've done a festival up in Claremont, Florida. I've done one in, let's see, Port Charlotte. I've worked there a number of times. And so Naples, yes, Naples as well. Naples Festival there. So yeah, it's been great. I've met some wonderful musicians since I've been here. And I've also done, which I think is also key, a number of the assisted living facilities,
Oh, nice.
bringing music to the residents there, which has been very rewarding. And it's nice to feel like you can bring this type of music and entertainment to people who may not get out much,
Yeah.
and the feedback from them it's been beautiful.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have any performances coming up?
Yes, I will be back at the Florida Studio Theater on August 10th.
Okay.
I'm doing a showcase that's entitled A Conversation with Billy and Ella. And I am going to be doing some private events. I do a number of private events as well.
Okay.
And then I'll be involved with the Sarasota Jazz Festival again next year. They have a program also called Jazz at 2, which I did a couple months ago. I'll be doing that again as well.
That sounds amazing. I am going to try to make the August 10th.
My website actually has all the information.
Okay. And your website is?
It's barberkingjazz.com.
barberkingjazz.com. Okay. You want to sing a couple of lines for us? You pick the song.
Okay.
Because I would love to hear.
Someday, when I'm feeling low and the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight.
Oh my gosh, if only I could sing like that. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm going to ask you what's bringing you joy right now, but I have to say you just brought me a lot of joy by sharing your gift with us. Thank you. That was so beautiful. So what's bringing you joy right now?
Just being able to continue to explore my music here. I mean, I knew that there was a music scene here in Sarasota, but I never expected it to take off the way it has since I've been here. So
it's a very supportive community.
It is. And so just being able to continue to sing, to create music, and to meet more musicians and people of like mind, it's been great.
That's great. What is one habit that helps you stay connected to yourself and others?
I try to wake up every day and give thanks. So even for the littlest things, the things that we may take for granted, and to be happy to be here and grateful for the opportunities that have been afforded me. So I think giving thanks is so important.
I agree. If you could have one final performance anywhere in the world, where would it be? And what song would you sing?
Whew. Well, in all my world travels, I have yet to get to France.
Okay.
So I've saved between, it would be, but there are two places. Can I do two? Really?
Yeah, I'm going to do two. It's your show.
Portofino would be one.
Portofino.
And Paris would be the second.
Okay.
So those are the two places that I would love to visit. And I'd probably like to do one of my original songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I love that. So why Paris and Portofino? Why those two?
Well, I have seen pictures of Portofino and it just looks amazing. As a matter of fact, I saw a live concert there on TV. I was watching it on television, and just the atmosphere of the place, it was just magical.
Okay.
And yeah, so I would love to visit there. I mean, I've been to Italy a few times with Portofino.
Okay. I love it. And Paris, because it's Paris.
Yeah. And because Paris has a great jazz scene too. So.
Oh, okay. All right, great. What's one piece of wisdom you wish every young artist knew?
Never take your craft for granted. Because it's a special gift to have. So make sure you hone your craft, you appreciate it, and take good care of it.
So I have a question about that. I know we're on a final five, but you've made me wonder something. So I've always wanted to sing, and I can kind of carry you to it. Can people learn to sing, do you think? Or are you just born with the gift of singing?
I think it's a little bit of both. Again, I think some people are just born with a gift. They're able to sing, and what they do is they develop it over time. I think some people can learn to sing, whether that means they become a professional is another story.
Right.
But
to carry a tune and not sound like Edith Bunker, which is kind of what my goal is.
The right teacher.
Okay, I need the right teacher. I did play saxophone, so I do have the ear, but I don't necessarily have the breath and the voice for it. If you could hang with one person, dead or alive, for one unforgettable conversation, who would it be and why?
Oh my goodness. One unforgettable conversation. I'm not sure. There's so many people that come to mind. I would say probably Shirley Horn, because I had an opportunity to sub for her years ago. And the reason why I say it, because she was a great musician as well as a singer. She didn't just, she played piano, she sang, she composed, and I like learning from people. So probably her.
Okay. Barbara, your stories are a reminder that our dreams don't have an expiration date. Sometimes life takes us on unexpected detours, but purpose has a way of waiting patiently until we're ready to answer the call. Through your music, you've reminded us that joy can be found in a melody, healing can happen in a lyric, and that perhaps there really is such a thing as perfect timing. Thank you for sharing your gifts, your wisdom, and your beautiful spirit with us today. And to everyone listening, if today's conversation touched your heart, share this episode with someone who may need a reminder that it's never too late to begin again, because the joy of life isn't found in going it alone. It's found in the hang. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. I cannot wait to hear you live. Sing more. All right. Bye, everyone.